Hi, everybody. My name's Melissa Haswell, and I'm at the Murray unit, just the next door down. And that's the Aboriginal Health Unit of the school here. As a unit, as a group, we work very collectively. As you'll notice, if you do our classes, we're all working together in terms of your learning experience. And we very much use that same approach that we do in learning around empowerment and transformative change in the research that we do. I've got a couple of potential projects here. For the first one is actually particularly Dr. Megan Williams, who has been working in this area for some time. So in Aboriginal men often experience a lot of disempowerment as they grow up and as they go through their lives. And they often don't realize that the impact of that disempowerment on their relationships and their relationships with their children as well. A few years ago, a movie called Mad Bastards. Anybody seen? It's a fabulous movie. It talks about an Aboriginal man who actually discovers really himself as he's reconnecting with his child and going through some of the difficult issues with his child. Megan, as well as the team that actually developed the film, it's quite popular in Aboriginal circles. People really feel like it tells a story that's important to them. They developed a program to take that film around to different men's groups around the country and into prisons. And they developed around that watching the film and then having discussion groups, sort of a healing program attached to the film that actually a lot of men actually identify with what's happening in those films, and then they talk about it and make plans in their own lives, if they're in prison, when they're released, how they're going to reconnect with their families, their partners, and their children. So this program's been going on for a while, but it hasn't actually been evaluated. And one of our strengths in Miramari is actually evaluation in a way that actually appreciates the experience of the program developers, delivers, as well as the participants. So one project could be to actually carry out an evaluation, which would include some interviews with the project team, review of the materials developed, summaries of the programs run, and then eliciting a theoretical framework. What is really happening when men are part of this program? What's some of the underlying empowering changes or transformative changes they're experiencing? Another area that we have work going on all the time with is we have about a 5 or 6 year relationship with a drug and alcohol rehab, Aboriginal community controlled rehab house down in Nowra called Oolong House. And they've actually been collecting data at intake and then halfway through their program and 6 weeks at graduation at measuring change among the men as they're experiencing staying in the house and the program delivered. We've done a lot of work in terms of about 3 years ago data, but there's been a gap of about 2 or 3 years now where they've collected further data. And one of the things that's occurred in that time between before and now is the rise of ice use and clients coming in with ice problems. And we've gained ethical clearance to actually collect, receive their data and look at has this made any impact on the changes that men experience, whether they have an ice problem or if they have other problems in the house. Because rehab places haven't actually been supported very well in terms of this change in clientele. So that'll be a way we can actually be looking at what are those challenges, are there additional ones that are occurring. And then the third one, besides Aboriginal health, I also teach environmental health. I've been developing up research now with communities, particularly that are facing coal mine or unconventional gas mines coming into their area. It's actually something that very much disturbs communities in many ways. And the community of Gloucester, up north from here, we're about to actually start a qualitative study just looking at the range of impacts, particularly psychosocial impacts that occur for individuals, families, and communities as a result of envisioning changes that could happen in their community, which will very much change the character in noise, pollution, different people coming in, land changes, potential fears around contamination. So the stage one will actually be a qualitative look at that range. And then through the second half of the year, we hope to actually develop some tools that really capture those psychosocial changes that people experience, and actually do a community level survey then, having knowledge about what we should be actually asking for. So that is a project we're just beginning now, but mid-year could be the very exciting point of actually going and doing a community-wide survey with that. So those are three potentials. That's sort of, you can see the area that we work in. Another possibility is a community called Bolga, which is nearby Gloucester, where they're actually going to move, this proposal to actually move an entire community for a coal mine to come in and operate where people are living. And there's no one actually that I know of capturing what that means to the people living there. So I think that could be the start of a whole lot of important research, not only for New South Wales here, but globally.